Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Today I'm going to show you which mods I use, how I download them and how I use them. So all of the mods I use are from Twisted Mexi. They are very trusted in the Sims 4 community, so I highly recommend mods created by them. I'm going to show you which ones I personally use. So the first thing we're going to do is go to Twisted Mexi's website, which you can see it just looks like this. It is just twistedmexi.com, and then you go ahead and go to mods. I'm going to go to is just always free build, and I'll show you why I go to this one, or you can go to always full edit mode. It doesn't really matter, but when you click on that, this comes up. And this is where the downloads portion is, and we're going to get a few of these. If you click on certain ones, they won't all pop up, but when you click on this particular one, all of the options come up to download. So I'm going to download the all cheats. I'm also going to download always free build, always full edit mode, always MOO, which is move objects on, and always testing. See, they've popped up down here, and these will go wherever you have your downloads set to go. So mine just pop into my downloads folder. So the other one that I use is Better Build By, which is, it helps organize the debug menu. So I'm also going to go ahead and open this. And then you can also get the build by deletion bug fix. I usually have this downloaded, but I don't often use it. It just helps when you're changing stuff around in a room, it doesn't delete things. So I'm going to go ahead and get this. I mean, I've already got all of these, but I've taken them out of the mod folder so I can show you how to do it. Then I also use the build mode free cam. You might not know you need this. This is more because of the videos I make. So build mode free cam is basically where you normally press tab in live mode and you can just move around without having all the UI. So you can do that actually in build mode. And then the last one I personally use is T.O.O.L, which is takes objects off lot. You might have heard of T.O.O.L before, you might not have, but T.O.O.L just means you can angle things, twist them around with stuff you wouldn't be able to place there normally, and like the title says, you can even move objects off the lot with this. So I'm going to go ahead and get that one too. So I'm just going to make sure I have all these ones. This one is going to be a zip file, so you need something that can open that zip file also. It says here, if you're using Better Build By, it already has the build cam built in, so it depends if you have Better Build By already, but you read the descriptions because it gives you more information about what you're downloading and what works with what, so bear that in mind. So I'm not going to get the free cam because I have Better Build By down here, which has the cam built in. So I've just popped these on my desktop because I don't want you looking around in all my folders. So how do you put these into your game? So the first thing you're going to do is open your files and go to your documents. Once you're in your documents, this is where mine is anyway. It might be in some other location on your computer, but generally every PC I've owned, it's always been in my documents. And it's under electronic arts. So we're just going to go into there and then go into Sims 4. And then here you have mods, which is empty for me because I've taken all of my original mods out. And all we're going to do is the ones that look like this, I'm just going to drag into there. And the ones that don't look like that, you need to click into it. And it even tells you there, drag the Better Build By thing into it. So we're dragging this folder in. You don't want this. And if you click on it, it even says, if you see this when installing, you're doing it wrong. So you just drag the folder. That's all you need to do. Right, so you have to make sure your game's not open while you're doing that, by the way. Just to make sure you know. So now I'm going to show you how to turn the mods on in The Sims, because not everyone's going to be turned on. So you need to make sure they're turned on, and then you do have to restart the game. My mods show here on start. It shows which I've got, which is custom content, which is the things that were in the folders, and also the script mods, which still show those. I don't know why it does that. You don't have to show this at the start, but it just shows you what is in your game. So to activate these, I already have it turned on, but if you go to options and then go to game options, It is in here, whereabouts is it? Is it in other? Is in other. You have to make sure you enable custom content and mods and enable script mods as well. Every time the game updates, it will remove this, so you will need to add it again. But I mean, the game doesn't get updated that often, so it's not a problem for me personally. So, and then you need to apply changes, and you will need to restart your game if you don't have these already turned on. So what we're going to do is you need to go into a game and go onto a section that you're building in. And then what we're going to do is where it says filter items down here, we're going to press this. And then you have better build by right here. So you're going to go ahead and click on that. And then you want to turn all this stuff on other than deletion protection. That's the one that stops things being deleted when you move walls, color walls, sometimes stuff will delete. So you don't need to turn that on unless you need to use it. So I'm going to turn on organize debug. And this is the thing that is going to need to be restarted. But we're just going to click OK and turn the other things on as well. So turn move objects on and ignore unlocks. And just tick that, and now we're going to restart the game. I know that might be really annoying. Just exit, save and exit. So I'm back in the game. I'm just going to go back to that lot and basically show you how to use some of these and what they do. So yeah, if you go down to the objects by function in the bottom left, and then go ahead and you click the drop down menu, and you have the options now, debug and live edit. When you click in these, there's going to be nothing there currently. Like, it's totally empty. But to get these going, just go ahead and click this arrow here next to this thing. Once you've got this up, we're just going to click on debug and also live edit, and you will get so many more options. Like, this is all the debug stuff. So debug is basically stuff that is your sim will basically use. So you'll have like cooking pans and stuff like that, and sometimes these won't upload to the gallery, they will disappear. It does say when you hover over them if they will disappear. That way. So, and then you also have live edit, which I use more often than not, and you have so many options. This is stuff that is normally found around the world. It's usually not usable, so if I pop this bench down, the sim can't sit on it or anything. But I don't tend to use things like this which your sim can't actually use. It's best for stuff like different wall options, different tree options, just like decorative items. So also what is automatically turned on because we turned this stuff on at the start is move objects on. That is permanently on, and so is ignore unlocks. So if you don't know what move objects is, it is a cheat which you normally type in, but you don't have to type it in anymore because it's already there. Every time you turn the game on, it is already turned on. You don't have to mess about with that stuff. So yeah, in here you can see these items, they have like a weird like grey thing around the outside. I don't know if you can see that. And these are normally unlocked by doing a career or something similar, and it unlocks them so your sim doesn't have to do the career. Like this sim I just used for this house to test it because it was a micro house and I needed to do some testing, so they have no career whatsoever, and this is still unlocked along with other things. So one of the other ones that I selected was always free build, which means when you go into build mode, everything is free. I know not everyone would want that because if you have it in your game, it does it for everybody. So if you've got a family that you want to earn money to make things, don't get this cheat. But if you look down here, I have a little infinity sign because I am in free build mode. Because I am just a builder, this is great for me, especially if I need a sim on the lot to test things. I don't have to sit and put like the motherload sheet in or anything like that. And then the final one would be tool mod. I love tool mod and I was so scared to use it at first. Honestly, don't be scared. You can start off with the basics. I can do a more in-depth video on tool mod if you are interested, but I'm just going to show you some really basic things. Right, so if you press Shift T when you have tool mod on, you can now do it in build mode. You used to have to do this in live mode, but it works in build mode now. This pops up, and if you click an item, it turns it green, and that means that is the item you are working with. You can pick multiple items if you hold like Alt and then click it. You can see both are green, and then you just click on them again to stop it being clicked. So like that. I'm just going to show you on a single item just because it's a little bit easier and what you can do with it. So if you click on move, you get this, and this for me is the most complicated, I'd say, because you're moving it on the X and Y. So you can see Y, so that'd be the second one, and X is green. You can see there's an X here. So if I wanted to move this one to the left, one to the right, you sometimes have to do -1. So if it's on this bit, 1 would be jumping across here. Sometimes you might not know if it's -1 or 1, so you have to put it in. So if I just put 1 by 1 in there, so you make sure you put a comma in between it, I press OK, it's moved it over here. If I went ahead and did -1 by -1, then it's going to move it back to where it was. So for me, that's the hardest one. The other thing you can do is if you hold Alt and don't click another item, but you click the floor, you can see it's moving the item. Like so. And you can also just, if you don't hold Alt, you do that, it moves the item. And you can do this off the lot, like so. I'm just going to place it back there. And then the next thing is elevate. So you can elevate in the game, but you can only do it by increments of, it's 0.1. So if I put 0.1 in here, and then if I just turn tool mod off, which you just press Shift T, I'm just going to get the same bed, and I raise that, it's the same. So bear that in mind, 0.1 is moving it up once like you would normally in the game. So if you wanted to move it a tiny amount, you do 0.001. So you're getting, or you could do like a halfway, I will just show you. So if I do -0.1, because the minus will put it back to where it is. So if I do 0.05, so that's half of that 0.1, you can see it's only halfway off the floor compared to this one. I hope that makes total sense. And you can go down into the floor as well. For this, again, you just use a minus. And then we also have rotate, which is pretty simple. You can see this circle here. I'm just going to move this other bed. So yeah, if you go to rotate, you can see this green circle on the floor has appeared. So you can change this. If you don't want to rotate it this way, you press change axis and you'll see it is now this way. And if you press change axis again, it is back forwards and then back to the start. So to know which way it is going to go, so you can see this is the darker part, that means that it's going to spin this way, not this way, if that makes sense. So you can do some weird things. Let's do it by 30%, and this is going to flip this way because that's the way the dark bit ends, like that. So the next thing we have is scale, and again, scaling can be done in the game. So if you click on an item and do that, you can see it's massive. Sometimes you don't want to scale things up by that much because it's a little bit too much. So with scaling, you can do, if I put 0.1 in, it goes teeny tiny because the way scaling works is slightly different. So this is set to 1. So its whole is what, if I just put 1 in, it's not going to change. So if I scale it up by 1.5, it gets bigger. So again, if I scale it down to 0.5, it gets smaller. But then if I scale it back to 1, it'll set it back to its normal size. I like tool mod for little things like trying to place things correctly on a shelf if you don't want it to sit exactly where it shows. And I angled this picture here, say. Stuff like that, it's great to do with tool mod. It's just tiny little things. I don't like to use tool mod too much because it can be quite complicated. Even though I understand it, it is time consuming, I'm not going to lie. So I hope that helped a few of you that were interested in what mods I use and why I use them. And if you do want a more in-depth tutorial on tool mod, I can do that. I can create something, I don't know what, but I can create something with you guys. Just request it down below. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!